Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Kayfabe Central of the Kayfabe Sessions, episode 3, I believe this is. And this is the first in-person interview that we are doing. And I am joined here by Kobe Durst. How are you doing?
What's up, guys? Diamond Tiger in the house. Have you already posted the other two, or like you're like getting a bank?
So I have one posted already.
Yeah.
It was with Alexia Nicole.
Yep.
I just interviewed Gabriel Fuerza yesterday.
That's so cool because they'd hate that I'm the one after them. I think they would hate that.
Would they?
Yeah. If you said I'm gonna get, I'm gonna do 3 interviews, you 2, and then Kobe Durst, I bet you they wouldn't have did your interview.
Well, apologies to Alexia and Fuerza, but
But I've known them forever, and they're both my age, right? And
Okay.
Fuerza and I actually started wrestling the same day. Me, Gabriel Fuerza, and John Greed all started training the same day.
oh
At
wow,
the same place, yeah.
that squared circle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, what a perfect 3 to start with.
There's a good 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've wrestled them both. I have no. I guess it's not that I have no problem with it, but like it's okay.
Yeah.
It's wrestling.
Yeah. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough. Okay. Well, we are here to talk about you, so let's get into some questions. You've been a staple of the Ontario indie scene for a few years now. What inspired you to first get into the ring?
In grade 10, you do careers class. So and I had the wrestling bug. That weekend, like I'm looking up schools, and doing my little report, and it happened that Squared Circle had like a free trial that weekend, and I convinced my parents to take me, even though it was me and 2 other guys. So I had a friend, Christian and Jordy. So, because we lived in Madoc, and that's about 2.5 hours away from Toronto. So we convinced our parents that each one would you guys do one weekend, whatever. And then by the time the 2 months was over, I was the only one still going. And my parents were driving me. My mom mostly.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
And it was hot too, it was what year would it have been? 2009, 2010. It wasn't a good time for wrestling, but Randy Orton was cool. Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And the Miz was really cool at the time, like doing the chick magnet thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of wrestlers like that, was there a specific moment or match that you watched growing up that made you think this is what I want to do?
I know my favorite when I was a kid was the triangle ladder match with the Hardys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
That was something.
Classic.
And when did I really want to wrestle? I know the first WrestleMania that I convinced my parents to buy was Mania 26. But I know that the year previous I had just kind of, because I would say my wrestling fandom was a hot 5 years, and then I started, and but even there's guys who know everything about wrestling. I know so little. I'm getting guys in the locker room to explain to me move it's a Hiroshi driver or something. Yeah, well, how do I? But yeah. So probably around then, and I know I was devastated when Jeff Hardy lost to CM Punk. You remember that?
Yeah.
Cage? Yeah. So probably around then.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I've been watching wrestling since I was born. My dad always was interested in, but the first WrestleMania I actually remember watching was WrestleMania 26 as well.
Right. Oh,
so, yeah.
Well, because we're around the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my parents don't like wrestling at all. My brother doesn't nobody in my family is into wrestling. Right. So I have this it's easy to show someone who likes wrestling. But if you put my dad in front of almost any match, he'll watch it for about 5 seconds and go, yeah, and just walk away. Because through his eyes and through so many people's eyes, it's actually stupid. And I totally get it. It's so dumb. And that's why it really does come down, comes on us to make it not stupid, because there was a time when it wasn't, when wrestling was rocking and rolling, it wasn't stupid. Everybody liked it. But right now, no offense to everybody, and it's got to be frustrating for guys who are really putting in the effort. And I'm not even I'm okay.
Yeah.
But guys should it's pro wrestling. Take it seriously.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of people like online.
But also don't take it too like it's pro wrestling's like like take it seriously. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing because like it is real to me. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, no, no worries. Yeah, there's a lot of people online, and it's like, oh, it's fake. I don't watch this.
Yeah,
It's
but you don't have to
stupid.
rub it in.
But like, it's like Thanos didn't really snap existence out of the world. Like, it's just like movies, right? It's
Right. Yeah, and well, in some ways, like the movie fight scenes, if you like, some of the best pro wrestling.
yeah,
Kinda, you're like in like an artsy way.
yeah. There was one time Alexa Bliss and I believe it was Bianca Belair literally took a fight scene from a movie and put it into their match.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You've gone through a lot of evolutions with your character over the years. How would you describe the version of Kobe Durst that fans see today?
Well, so with the evolutions, because when I started wrestling, I thought that it was like you go in blank slate, and then like your trainer will like give you, you'll be like bestowed. I think you are dragon blood, or whatever, and you go, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So my trainer, what? Not so I did the squared circle. They gave me my green light. So I needed to find somewhere that I could like train, kind of locally. And they made me Marty Michaels, which Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty,
Yeah.
Marty Michaels, the Lone Rocker. Which honestly, I didn't appreciate it enough at the time. It's a dope gimmick. It's kind of funny,
Yeah.
But yeah, the Kobe Durst today, because eventually I end up at Squared Circle, and Michael Elgin and Ashley Six are helping out, and a bunch of guys were around. Gabriel Fuerza would have been there. Alexia Nicole would have been there. Channing Decker was there, and everybody was saying, there's probably 20 people. I would never book Marty Michaels, was what Ashley Six is saying. I'd never book Marty Michaels. We need a new name. Like, you're a good wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay, Durst is your real last name. Adam, Adam's dumb. And then Channing out of nowhere, he goes, what about Kobe? Which is like, what an odd.
Yeah.
You look at me and you go, yeah, Kobe. And then nobody spoke up and said, he's not a Kobe. They all went, yeah. So that was that.
Yeah.
Where I am now, though, it's because, when so many people came for me just online out of nowhere, I was really rocking and rolling, and it was after the pandemic, so I was pretty devastated, honestly. But so it's almost like I'm in a place where I literally don't have anything to lose. Like
Yeah.
maybe my health.
Yeah.
I don't want to get. And because that's one thing I never even considered as a young guy.
Right.
But
Yeah. As you get older, it's like, oh wait, that can really happen.
Norm Macdonald, the comedian, he used to have this bit. He'd say, yeah, we'll do heroin when we're 80, but just because you're 80, it doesn't mean that you're just ready to go overdose on heroin. Clip it.
Yeah. So you're known for being pretty fearless in the ring. Has your style always been aggressive, or did that develop over time?
You know what happened? I realized I got hurt on the easy stuff. It's the headlock takeover that you're not thinking about. It's catching your toe. It's the Vince McMahon slide in and
Yeah.
it's that stuff that hurts you.
Yeah.
When you're going off the cage or taking a bump to the outside, how often does the guy actually get hurt? It's this big moment, everybody, yeah, and you're kind of going, oof. I'm really good with being hurt. I'm horrible with injuries.
Ah.
And that's, so as soon as I'm injured, like, game over.
Yeah.
I'm done. I don't care if it's my pinky toe's broken. Like, dude, my pinky toe is broken. I'm done. But, my head smash and bleed, like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of, I'm funny like that.
Have you not had a serious injury as of yet?
Concussions, maybe. And just broken fingers, I'd say. Like, so I dislocated this one once, this one twice, and I had surgery on this thumb. So just kind of these, they'd say I have piano player fingers, but I never learned.
You've wrestled all over Canada. How do you feel about the current Ontario wrestling scene compared to when you first started?
I think that when I first started, it was almost like a peak. Michael Elgin, like Kevin Steen wrestled in Hamilton. Who was like Chris Hero was showing up at shows. Roderick Strong. Like, holy, yeah, like great wrestlers all the time. Like, I don't think the guys today can compete at all. Like, they're not even in the same category. Just because you've been wrestling for a long time doesn't mean that you're them. You're not. And maybe you are. Like, because to be honest, I don't even know who I'm talking to. A little bit myself. Like I said, there's some guys, they know so much about wrestling. They know everything. They know everyone. I'm so out of it, but I know good wrestling from bad wrestling. That's one thing I know. And I just, from what I see, it's just not where it used to be. The indies peaked in like 2016.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I think people would agree.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid year for independent wrestling.
Good stuff.
Really good year, yeah.
Yeah. And it's not even like guys are coming up. Like we're working on our craft, we're not disappearing, and we don't want to have bad. Like, who wants to go out and stink up the show? You want to have good matches.
Yeah. Speaking of coming up, are there any younger names in the Ontario scene that you think people should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, guys that aren't getting enough attention. There's a guy, Dallas Kyle, at Superkick. Just a freaking beast. Jax Williams. That's a guy who's, solid, good wrestler. Evan Greenaway, guys are hyped on. Johnny DeLuca, guys like. I've seen, Young Love is working hard. Who else is working hard? There's good guys that I've wrestled. Tyler Arrow, I had a good match with a couple weekends ago. Really young, up and coming guys who really deserve it. Because you hate to leave people out. John Atlas is a guy. Like, why is he not on every show? This guy's like he's a super athlete, former CFL player, professional, a father. Like, what's going on? Like, where's his bookings?
Really down to earth guy too.
Down to earth. Like, just a good dude. So there's a lot of guys out there who, and I think that it's a little bit this, okay? Imagine you have a show and most of your roster is like okay athletes, right? Because that's, the freaks are signed. Okay, so all of a sudden you got like a guy like John Atlas, a guy like Dallas Kyle, Jax Williams. They look like a fish out of water when you're in there with I would if I showed up. I couldn't show up to a WWE tryout in the shape that I'm in right now. It wouldn't go good, Like some guys, they make an exception or whatever, but I don't feel good about it. And so that's on me. But so then imagine how these guys, like guys who are in worse shape, and you try to put these guys on your show, and like I say, they just don't. They look like they don't belong. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing at this Lions Club? You should be somewhere else. So I think that. I don't know if people are even aware of that or even willing to admit it to themselves. Yeah. But I'm a guy, I don't even, I could give a fuck about me. I think about wrestling as a whole. Well, I'm in it for myself too, but wrestling as a whole really, is where it's coming from, is where this is coming from.
Yeah. You wrestled a lot of names like Josh Alexander and Evil Uno. Is there a match or rivalry that stands out to you as your personal favorite?
Ruby Riott. That's the number one. Yeah, so when she was Heidi Lovelace on the Indies, we just had and it's funny because it's intergender and people come at me for being a bigot or whatever they like to. And then, so we have this, and I was, I might have been on the GAS at the time, so I was just freaking, we have this match, and my brains were like, I don't know why, but I decided that the way I would go into it was just like a hate feud right off the bat, just fucking, and she was so good and played along with it, and it was just sometimes there's chemistry.
Yeah.
And so we had three. We probably had more than that, with other things, but there was three main ones that ended in like the falls count or last man standing match, which is funny because she's a man. But yeah, so that was a good one. I wrestled Eric Kearney, and he was the first feud I had in Alpha One. Oh. And I think if that didn't go the way that it went, that it wouldn't have gone so good. One of my I would say like if I had like an arch nemesis list of like guys that I wrestle, Matthew Saint Jacques. Me and him have had like so many matches. So when my old friend, and he'd give me the, and then well, and the Josh, right? Like, because we did the 2 Iron Man matches.
Yeah.
And he's like the best. And there's one. If you look at it, yeah. So, because he's one of these freak athletes, right? He's a guy who's like you have to feel bad for guys like that when the rest of the roster isn't pulling their weight. And I don't know what's in his mind, but I'm sure that there's been times when he's looked at me and been like, Kobe, come on, like, I get it.
Yeah.
But so because he's so and it's almost like trial by fire, right? That's kind of how Ethan Page runs things. Like, give you the best, and because there's no substitute for in-ring, in front of the crowd training, right? Like that's where your bread and butter is. Like, you can learn to bump and all this stuff, but like real like audience timing. Anyways, the story that I chop him in like the nose or the neck, because I'm just bad, and he got so mad. He gave me this big clothesline, and he tore his pec.
Oh.
And so if you actually look at Josh, he has like a bit of an indent onto the one side, and he's like, and when he goes, yeah, it's my fault. I clotheslined you. I shouldn't have. and because he's such a stoic, guys who've really just been through it.
Yeah.
Nothing will faze him.
Yeah. Yeah. When I had Fuerza on yesterday, it'll be out before this one, so they'll hear it. Yeah. He was telling me that Josh is a guy that won't stoop down to your level, but instead bring you up to his and make you work.
Yeah. Because when you're wrestling Josh, like, people pay their hard-earned money to go to the wrestling show and stuff. You're not getting no kind of a night off with Josh, and like that guy put himself through it. But yeah. So and I actually said this earlier today, just kind of as a joke. I'd say like I hope that because The Office wasn't a big hit when it was on TV.
Yeah.
It became a hit later when it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
So I have this I imagine one day Alpha One gets like onto some random, and like that time in Alpha One blows up because some random guy becomes a big fan of it and goes, I don't, this and that, but have you seen Josh versus Kobe in 2018? That was some crazy stuff. Like, yeah, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. Is there a promotion or opponent that you still want to cross off your bucket list?
Yeah, there's well, because I've always I want to be on WrestleMania. My goal as a kid was WrestleMania 50. I've been afraid to kind of say it because if you miss it, you've publicly said, "Oh, I want to be WrestleMania 50." But yeah, that was always my goal. So it's still not it's within somebody's grasp.
Yeah.
In terms of an opponent that I'd really want to face. I guess I'd want to face The Miz if I really could face anybody. He was my guy. Yeah. Yeah, The Miz would be cool.
That would be an interesting matchup as well, I think.
Yeah, you know what pro wrestling does too? And this is stupid in a side note. I had the worst and just for saying this, it's kind of like a pussy thing to say, but I had body dysmorphia as a kid because in pro wrestling, I've been wrestling for 10 or 15 years, and I was gonna try to make up a number, but I just I've never stepped on a scale.
Oh,
Not
wow.
one time. It's just people coming up to you going, "Hey, what do you weigh today?" And then I just make up a number. Sometimes it's exaggerated by 30 pounds. Like,
Oh, wow.
guys are just throwing these numbers out. So one thing I would love to see in wrestling is just tell the truth. Just
Yeah.
fucking weigh the guy. Tell me tell me how tall he is. I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, how do I actually measure up? I understand, like, giants larger than life. Hire giants then. Make them actually big. Don't just pretend.
Yeah. How do
Because
you?
other sports do.
Yeah, that is true.
And no,
How do you mentally and physically prepare for a big match?
smoke a lot of dope, man. Yeah, well, because you're hyping up, I guess. So you want to stay. For me, I stay calm like that. But what I'm actually thinking about is like almost like what's your character's motivation?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the good guy or this or that. And guys get a little bit too rigid with, because pro wrestlers, they're not smart, right? They're not supposed to be smart. And they aren't. So what you end up with is guys who just kind of like repeat anything they've heard, and they just like they stick to formulas and they stick to the rigidity of like champion enters first. I don't know when they're where, but whatever. People always say the same one. Or good guy enters second because the bad guy is, but the good guy starts the show. People get so into like structure, even match structure. They go, "Oh, I have to hit these moves, and then you can hit these moves, and it should be in this order." But yeah, really like the mastery, the mastery, like basics mastered is like when you're really good, but playing with it so that it's not just like it's 2025. It isn't just black and white anymore. You can have nuance in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
You don't just have, because they would always say things like, you only have 10 minutes to tell the story. No, if I want to live stream 24/7, I can.
Yeah.
So I can really play around with that if I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When fans leave a Kobe Durst match, what's the one thing you hope they walk away feeling?
I want to get a holy shit chant or maybe like a this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm always like if, like when somebody said, how was the thing? I go, I got it, the holy shit chant. So that's good. What I actually appreciate even more, I had like this interaction. I was wrestling the other week, and there's this group of people laughing. I go, what are you guys laughing at? And they said, when you got in the ring, you used a chair as stairs because they didn't have stairs. Little things like that crack me up. Or a couple months ago, I'm wrestling, and somebody in the crowd goes, "Beat that pretty boy," and I yelled, "I haven't been pretty since 2018." They laughed kind of too hard, actually. Yeah. But yeah, so things like that, or like when everybody reacts the same way all the time. When you can just catch a guy kind of off guard just a little bit,
Yeah.
that really brings like a unique kind of joy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone wants that holy shit chant after their match, or that this is awesome chant.
That's really nice. But yeah, when somebody kind of goes, "Hey, I seen you, or like tonight, Eric had his shirt in my corner, and the ref goes, "That's your corner." I go, "Well, his stuff's in my corner, man. Get his stuff out of my corner." It's stupid, but it's so fun for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's little things like that, honestly, that'll make someone like crack in the crowd, or
That's because you're watching, obviously you're watching the show, and then it's like a little Easter egg or something. That
yeah,
what? Why is this guy? Where's he from?
yeah.
What planet?
We talked about how you prepare for matches, but what's your go-to meal after a show?
Yeah, so A&W is 24 hours, so everybody with that. But I usually like to hit up. I'll hit up the McDonald's. I like in America is nice because they got the triples. You can get the triple cheeses.
Oh wow,
so I
yeah.
get like 3 or 4 of those and just. Um, I always like tonight. I'm gonna hit up the half price Chuck's appetizers because lately I've been driving all over the country in America for like 10, 15 years, and I haven't seen police out like they are now.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, I'm playing poker in Montreal, and I lose whatever. It's like 2 a.m. And at Playground Poker, they give you free drinks, and I'm off to the races. So I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
I spend my money. I'm out. I'm driving back. I get to Napanee. Ooh. Oh no! So they pull me over, and anybody who knows me, my car stinks like weed. But I got all my weed. It's in the trunk. It's where it's supposed to be, right? And I'm not drunk. Like I'm good, but I'm nervous as hell. So these guys come up. Hey man, your car stinks. Get out. So I step out, and I empty out my whole pockets, and they go, okay, well, so it's 2 a.m. We're on the side of the 401, and it's freezing. You're gonna get in the back of our car, and we're gonna take you to the police station, and we're gonna give you the sobriety test. And if you pass, we'll take you back to your car. If not, you're in trouble, buddy.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'll play your game. Let's go. So off we go. And about 20 minutes to the Napanee police station. They get out. They make me do 3 games. One is like, I'm looking at the very tip of the pen, and he's like, just follow it with your eyes. Don't move your head. So it's okay, good. Next, it's like there's lines in the concrete. You gotta walk, heel toe, do.
Yeah.
And then the other one is stand on 1 foot, 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, so 20. Which, like, honestly, I'm a wrestler. I could probably do it drunk. But, so I pass. And these guys, I think their chief went to high school with me. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, because I'm chatting them up on the way back. They're like, oh, so you said you're a wrestler? Because I'm, hey, guys, I've got a wrestling show tomorrow if you, on the way over. But where I was going with this is that lately I've just been crashing in my car. I'll get a hotel. Like, I've always driven back the same day of the show just because it ruins your next day. Like, all day is ruined tomorrow. Like, driving back to Belleville from Barrie. Yeah. So you just go, but there's so many ride programs. There's so many things out. It's crazy. So I don't like playing. It's like Russian roulette out there.
Yeah.
And that's just the old tip from Kobe to the boys.
If you could form a dream tag team with anybody from any era, who would it be?
Whoa. Okay. Kobe Durst, Kobe Bryant, that'd be huge. I always wanted to team with Justin Bieber. I think being Justin Bieber would be huge if he could, teach him the thing. Actual wrestlers, I would go. Who would I be good with? I'd be good with Marty Jannetty. The Lone Rockers. That'd be good. Shawn Michaels, obviously, so we'll stick with Marty. And who else would I go with? I think I'd be a good tag with. I could really tag. I love Shane Saber. I love that guy, even though he's. I love him even though anything. Tall, even though he's tall. Who else do I like? I think I would tag with him if I could tag with anybody. I'm trying to think if there's people that yeah. Let's go Shane Saber. I think.
Okay.
But if we were gonna go any era, because like if we're having fun with it.
Yeah.
Clip it. Well, Shane Saber, Marty Jannetty. That's good. That's good enough.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
So what's next for Kobe Durst? Do you have any big goals before the year ends?
Yeah. So right now I'm just kind of like tweeting a lot of ominous things at nobody. Things like I'm on my way, or like Kobe's coming to wrestle your fucking ass. But like it doesn't even mean anything to me necessarily. Yeah. It's just kind of like trying to stir the pot. Stir something up. Yeah. And it's actually gotten me some bookings because Project X used me, and I don't know if there's any correlation, but I had this tag match. I don't know who my partner was, but but it was against XS and XS Junior, and we really tore it up, the 4 of us. So his trainer is one of them in the Sioux. I think he's a guy from the Sioux. Anyways, But yeah, and then the next week, GCW booked me for Great Canadian Wrestling, not Game Changer for American guys. Great Canadian Wrestling booked me for a Sudbury show last week. They just did Barrie today, and then next week is Orangeville. And since I'm living out in Belleville these days, like kind of where I grew up, they're also running like Napanee, where I got pulled over, Tweed, and Trenton. So it's
wow.
Yeah. So like, which is cool because there's never been shows out there, and it's such a blue collar town of like, well, you don't watch wrestling, so it's like you'd have to really bring it.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen like they've even put posters out a few times. Like I've seen in random towns. I'm like, oh, they're really pushing it.
Yeah, some towns are like one hit wonders sometimes. Like there's nothing else going on, but you better put on a good show because it's never gonna hit again. And you can't like do it too many times. Like Hamilton is like one thing you can run it. Every weekend 2 shows. People are coming out, I guess. But yeah, some towns like you'll burn them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So final question I have for you here. Where can people follow your journey and catch your upcoming matches?
Yeah, so it's at Kobe Durst on Twitter. I'm not the most socially active guy. So what I want to do if I was going to, I would love to have a podcast like this.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about. I know you gotta edit audio. You got video.
Yeah.
You gotta get guests. And I did you do the other ones Zoom?
Yeah, those are over Zoom.
Yeah. See, and I bet you that because who wants to watch it like for you know what I mean? Like you watch podcasts.
Yeah.
The Zoom ones aren't as good as the real. Yeah. And so I could relate to it. I was like, oh yeah, he's in Barrie, I'll be in Barrie. Yeah, let's set it up. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to have. I would love to get a weekly thing going so that I could actually keep people up to date with what I'm doing. If wrestling didn't work out, like I do stand up sometimes. I'll hit up the open mics. I play poker, like my life depends on it, online at the casinos. I love it. I'm a gambler. And, poker. Well, sports betting and stuff, but I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love, I'm going hard, eh? So if, I bet you that the bookings would come my way. I just gotta keep my nose to the grindstone. You gotta get jacked. You gotta, when you shake John Cena's hand, you have to feel formidable. You can't just be like some wimpy whatever. And when you look at it, I'm great for these shows that I'm on right now. And I know that, there's a time crunch and stuff, but I also know, in terms of matches and actually having good ones, some guys struggle in that department. That's not my issue. So as far as I'm concerned, it's almost like a blessing to just be like, I don't know, eat some steaks, hit the gym, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? I don't know if that answers your question, but I would take any whoever wants me, I'll go there.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Well, thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking time out of your night to come out here and do the interview. Kobe Durst, everybody, go follow him on social media. Go follow his journey. And thank you again for joining me.
Don't at me, pussies.